I'm Dennis Delamar. I'm the director of Black Wall Street American Nightmare and the founder of Greenwood Film Festival. And I'm here with Mr. Tony 𝐤𝐄. Mr. Tony 𝐤𝐄 plays the mysterious man out of where you from? Tell the people where you from.
Where am I from?
Yeah.
Oh man, if I get into my fantasy as I read the script,
Yeah.
I am all of the souls of the ancestors coming for a fair assessment of what has happened and showing you what is going to happen, with giving the answer to what you ought to do to not get to what is going to happen.
Okay. Okay.
Was that too much?
Yeah, you went deep on them already.
Wow.
Yeah. So tell us how do you learn about Black Wall Street? Like, what's your introduction to it? In your lifetime, like, whether you heard it on the radio or you seen it in the newspaper, or what's your introduction to Black Wall Street Tulsa? And then, we'll go from there.
Well, I'm a baby of, I was born in the 50s, 1953, moving into the civil rights era, and was very, very sick and tired of hearing about things that were being done that we did not do, but my God, all the evidence was that we did it. And being raised in Mississippi, Dennis, you wouldn't know anything about that, and I'm glad you don't. But being raised in Mississippi and the Delta, I had to learn. I had to know, because there was so much in me, bruh, that that dispelled these lies I was being taught in school, elementary school, and so forth. And even going to Mississippi Valley State, I still not got into our history. So I started to research and learn, and the history of my people being successful has burned in my soul for quite some time.
Okay.
And a number of stories, small films back in the day, put me in touch with that. And then I moved to Texas and really got introduced to Juneteenth and that sort of thing, and got very interested. And then somehow up popped Dennis Delamar.
Okay. Okay. So tell me, what inspired you to even, because the process, there's one thing I love about film for me is really getting to see the power of Yahuwah. And what I mean by that is the power of the Most High is because when we were going through the process of like casting for the mysterious man, we were getting some entries, but it was like, when you sometimes you don't know, you go through an audition process and different things like that. But then sometimes it's like, okay, that's the person. Like, you don't need to message me. We don't need to do a whole bunch of other stuff. And
right.
So that was kind of what I felt about when we first had our initial conversation. So when you seen the script, kind of take me through, and of course this is no spoiler section, but take us through like what was your process? What were you thinking about when it comes to this dialogue and this and that this film brings to the table in this time, considering, this is the 100th year commemoration and all that, all those things, but in particular, just in outside of that, even in time and history, like what it brought to the table. Just talk a little bit about that.
Well, when I first read it, Dennis, of course, most guys have their prep through things, but what I'll do is I'll read through, and when I first read through, I didn't get it. Didn't get it. Then I went back and set it aside, and went and read a little bit about Gurley. and then come back to the script. And then I realized that you had written this thing in a manner where we're going to take modern day and infuse it into this historic thing. What beautiful. So then my whole being got into the film and then got into the history. And then, of course, we went through this pandemic and all that sort of thing, and it's still that mess out there. And then it's, every day you turn on TV or some media, and whether it is induced by us or caused by us or whatever, we are still the targets.
Yeah.
And I just think it's important to let people know that we are not really downtrodden, man. We just have to grab things the way Gurley grabbed things, watch the message, man, and we can overcome this crap. That may have been too long too, man. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay. So, because one of the things, because we had a lot of, what I feel like what this film brings is a lot of social commentary that, the conversations that we have behind scenes, the conversation that we had, outside of the film, and conversations that people are having on a daily basis, but they're a little too taboo to kind of like talk openly about it.
Right.
So with that, what do you feel for you was a takeaway when you see why this story is important? Like, why do you feel like this story is important at this time in history?
I've been living in it for quite some time, Dennis. You're living in it. I don't want my grandchildren living in it. Shit. And you'll excuse the expression, but dong is just dong. It's just evil doo-doo. Now, let me tell you something that really, really brought it home to me, man. And this was on set, Dennis. I don't know. I don't know how it was done.
Yeah.
But that shoot day on that corner at that service station, when at the drop of just something in social media alerted the entire town, where we were almost in danger ourselves. But the spirit of the people, that when they felt that they were in danger again, Dennis, they were there. And they were there in unity. Now, though it could have, it could have escalated into, and you were smart, just smart and diplomatic. Thank you very much. It could have went another way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that encouraged me, Dennis, to stay on the front line in whatever medium I'm in. Keep us aware, keep us educated.
Yeah.
And that spirit of unity that came together right there on that corner, just that spirit, just well, most of the crew and all of us, we felt what was going on there. We got to keep that going forward.
Yeah.
That strength to stand up, man.
Yeah.
And to say, you ain't gonna do this no more to us.
Yeah. It's that one thing where, where we all have a common enemy, and in that experience, it was perceived that there was an enemy there, and none of those circumstances we come together.
Yeah.
And it's just, I would say, right now, I was just having this conversation earlier. Right now, the perception is a lot of people. This is just my opinion. There's a lot of comfortability.
Yes, sir.
With some things that even we'll see in the film, right? The comfortability.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But how how do we, talk about and let people see, understand, or be used to teach people about the apocalypse that is happening, particularly with people of color, like the apocalypse that's happening when people feel like there is not an apocalypse, like, because that's one of the real struggles is letting people know it's a World War III out here.
Ongoing.
It's and people feel like, okay, now Trump's gone, we got Biden, now and then when Biden's gone, we got this person.
You got another white man.
Yeah, we're getting closer to whatever this thing is, but there's some deeper issues that need to be talked about. So how do you feel about the apocalypse now that's happening?
Of course, in order to solve anything, we have to go back to the root of the cause. And you mentioned earlier, you said earlier that people are uncomfortable about talking about this. We want to escape. We want to not remember that part of it, because we got everything's better. We got a black life better. We got a black life, la di da la di da. Well, once you have identified that root cause, and so you can go into denial as long as you want to. The whole population is in denial. Oh, this is not. Yes, it is. But the true reality of it, it's like, Dennis, when people ask me about prayer in church. Well, you've been doing that for how long? You feel the silence after that? You've been doing that for how long? Nobody wants violence.
Yes, I did. How are you?
But I think that we ought to establish the factor that this stuff happened. And this stuff is continually happening on an economic basis. Look where Black America is. We are the people who built this country, man. And we can't get an equitable position here. So in that portion of your mind, you have to be ready to do this. Take it. Take it by any means necessary. You are on the road to taking it by telling the story, and as much as you can lodge this story into the minds and the spirits of those that are coming up and coming around, that strengthens that fortitude to go forward and to be treated like a human being. You see, that man that brought you over here in shackles still look at you the way he looked at you when he chained you. He looked at you as an animal. But you can't give him that, Dennis. You got to give him what the Creator put in you to really tear up evil, and that's the simple truth. Truth and the fact of the matter is that we can navigate this doggone ship. Back up, take it, and navigate it. Some would say this is not our country. Oh, I kind of disagree. We built it, baby. We built it. This is ours. Now, instead of sharing it with them, we got to get into the mindset that they have. Take it. Well, Mr. K, you're talking about gun. No. How did they take it in Black Wall Street, in Tulsa? How did they take it? Start there. Now let's take it on and take it. And even in my research, Dennis, I found that these guys were getting ready to, my God, do contracts with France to build airplanes and stuff. Are you kidding me? And with the technology and where we are today, we can't do that, not to the exclusion of anyone, but my God, you can't be pushed down all the time. And now, and with the social climate now, no, Donald Trump, the person is gone. But the attitude, the spirit, and the stuff that brought Donald Trump there is still here. And we have to forget about being in denial about this, man. It's real. They're killing you. They're killing you. We're not saying, you know, people, well, white people, and hey, it is the majority Caucasians that are perpetrating the act. So no argument. And we are not running out killing anybody but ourselves.
Yeah, that's most definitely. With that, because that was a mouthful. So because we had this conversation before too, and we talk about let's deal with something real deep. Is we talk about 1921, and we talk about the massacre and those type of things. Which this film, you know, we won't talk about that, how that relates to this, because you know we don't want to give that away. But what's your take on it happening? And what I mean by that is the aspect behind that, because that gets into our history, that gets into our heritage. But from my perspective, when we read our literature from a scriptural point of view, we see that we only were defeated when there were certain things that were not lining up within our community, right? So because I had this conversation with somebody, I said, well, because if an army comes against you, you have to admit first that, you know, maybe they caught you slipping, you didn't have the proper artillery or something, but there's no, because a lot of times it's like, well, that just happened, you know, I can't believe, but we don't talk about the part of like, okay, well, why did it happen and why did we lose in that moment? And so that's a really deep question to, you know, so the question would be is, why did you think, oh, this is a tough one? Why do you think the massacre happened?
Same as today, we got relaxed. Didn't think of security. We knew that the white people didn't like us, but we thought because of that prosperity, that at least they would see that we were a progressive people. But that age-old thing is always used. Black man attack white woman. You see, we got so relaxed, we didn't think that would turn the corner again. That turned the corner, and we didn't think out of all the progress. I'm relating in my spirit to 19. We thought fair trial. We thought all of that. That fantasy of justice in America. But no, bruh. When evil has an opening, evil takes it. And it boldly takes it. We must not relax ever again. Rest, meditate, but never relax ever again. Some would say, well, Mr. Key, that sounds kind of, heck yeah, it sounds radical. We must build ourselves a police force. The law was meant to catch, kill, hang, take back to master. That's the real police force. That's what I mean by identify the root. We talk about law and order in America. The only law and order in America was catch them niggas and bring them back or kill them. That's the law of America, Dennis. And people like me, man, you know, I have a tough time even in our business.
Yeah.
Because I'm a bit unfiltered, and the older I get, I'm less filtered.
Yeah.
because I see and then, lived a couple of things. And then I realized, saying, hey, 1 and 1 is 2, 2 and 2 is 4.
Yeah.
Many of us have common sense no more.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, because that's a good point, because when, what hit my mind when you were saying that is I think about Emmett Till,
Yes, sir.
right? I think about Birth of a Nation.
Mm-hmm.
I think about the continual demasculation of the Black male, and that, that imagery of the savage that wants the white woman, right? Whether it's an NBA player or, some celebrity that, continually on and on, right? And that image continually be promoted, whether it's through movies or in these things. So with that, we have a situation where that imagery is continually being promoted, and it's the same thing that happened in 1921, right?
Yes,
it's the same image
Yeah.
promoted over and over. And that's why it is an agenda that that same, because think about it. Let's break it down into X's and O's. If you take the prosperity and the different things of Black people, and a one message that's being promoted is that, because really what it does is it puts up a standard of the European woman, right?
Come on now.
And this pedestal is, I'm talking from the European perspective, is worth more than your business, is worth more than your life. Like this pedestal. And that's something that's not talked about in society. And that's what Black Wall Street American Nightmare gets into, because that's not talked about. And that was one of the surprising things looking into this. I was like, man, I'm really excited about telling that part, because it's not the things that are overt, the things that are in your face that's telling you, the devil never does, that's the magic trick. The magic trick gets you to look at what it is that he wants you to look at. But the thing that is covert, the thing that's underground, that's what it really, the deception is happening. And that's where, when you talk about the root, where we got to get to. And so with that, A, I want to know your thoughts on that. And B, I want to know your thoughts on that. And then B, I want to talk about why should people go see a Black Wall Street American Nightmare? And so those would be the two questions to lead into.
Number one, it's a good film, a good story. Number two, it is history that we ought to know about and absorb. Number four, you get pissed off. To get angry. But to capture something from scripture, to get angry and sin not. Number five, after you get angry, and how to sin not, is do you take that message that you got and all those emotions back out into society, the masses. Tell your friends about this film. That's the root, Dennis. You learn the root. And what they did do not do. Create an alternate route. Then, number six, and most important, though we are scattered, this very platform that we're on right here brings us together. Go to your communities. Start an entrepreneurial class. Those of you who are financially able, invest in entrepreneurs in those communities.
Mm.
Hey, well, I'm gonna lose my money. Yeah, you're gonna lose some, but you only lose and become non-successful when you stop doing it.
Mm.
Eventually, something is going to catch, Dennis,
Mm.
that will allow us to become a network.
Mm.
Then, Dennis, I'm 7, man. I got to learn to look you in your eyes and love you, man.
Mm.
I'm talking Black men.
Mm.
Irregardless of whatever conversation is going on around us, Black men have got to solidify being Black men. You're a warrior, man. Whether it be physical war, and we hope that don't happen. Those of us that serve this country that I am now fighting to continually get my benefits from the Vietnam era war. But the white guy that went in with me, he got all his.
Mm.
He's at 100%, Dennis, I'm at 10%.
Mm.
They say I'm disabled, he's able, but he's at 100% can sit at the house.
Mm.
I'm at 10% and have to get a part-time job.
Mm.
Now, don't get me wrong. What I'm doing is wonderful because I'm sticking my middle finger up at you by partnering with people like Dennis Delmar and telling stories of your abuse.
Mm.
So God is taking care of me.
Mm.
Once we get to those 7 things, Dennis, and some, right away, we like to throw that negative error out there. Well, I'm not from the, error.
Mm.
That's just like you were just describing. That's one of those things that they've taught us innately in culture, that the first thing you do is throw that negative out. No, Black folks can't work together. Oh, that's baloney. Didn't Dennis Delmar and I work together?
Mm.
Huh?
Mm.
Oh, yeah, it was just on a movie. Yeah, but wait a minute. Whoa.
Mm.
That movie could have a domino effect that's ridiculous, man.
Mm.
So you give it a chance.
Mm.
You give many things a chance. Now, Mr. Key, this is kumbaya and yo. Hey man, we got Black people who build businesses. Real estate business. You mean to tell me that y'all can't come together in a room and build a skyscraper?
Mm-hmm.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
You mean to tell me that some guy from Africa named Acorn can come over here, get all our money, take it back over there and build him a city?
Yeah.
But Black folk can't work together in America? We need to cut that crap out.
Yeah. No, I feel you. I feel you. And so, is there any other last moments or lasting words that you want to share with the people?
Thank you very much for allowing me to be a part of your film and the story. I am indeed a part of the people. I've always been a maverick, Dennis, which may be one of the reasons that my name is not Denzel. But if there's anything that I can leave, is to simply ask you and other young people, would you give me the opportunity to help move you into the future with a better dream and a better realization of who we really are? And I just simply extend the hand to you and other young men. Would you just let me be that OG, one of those OGs that can help with the wisdom to lift us completely. I started to say halfway, completely out of this muck and mire, man. That's all. I'd like to leave you. Would you let me help?
And most definitely. And I think you did it in this role, in your role as a mysterious man in Black Wall Street American Nightmare, June 13th and 14th, also in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and also May 30th in Raleigh, North Carolina.
No,
Yeah,
I ain't going to Raleigh, man. I
Yeah.
can't go North Carolina, South Carolina. I can't go that way, brother.
Yeah. You know, because they had a little Black Wall Street too, and they actually had the same.
Yeah, Wilmington.
Yep, and
yeah.
Raleigh Durham, and so then eventually we'll get this thing out to, you know, more people and to continue to expand. But I appreciate your time and effort you brought, and everything you brought to this role, and to even the conversation that you brought to this role that had an impact, you know, for us that summer, but also, you know, just moving forward in our just life. You know, it was definitely an experience to remember, and I think one of this is a timeless film because
Without a doubt,
the message is just it's where we need to go. And you know, if the world is still going on in the next 100 years, it's where we need to go in the next 100 years. You know,
absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
that seed. So
Absolutely.
So I appreciate you, and I just thank you, and Mr. Tony Key.
My pleasure, man. My pleasure indeed.
All right, thank you.